So I pulled the 1970 something 3-horse Briggs and Stratton apart here. You can see it's got the big gas tank on it there with the float type carburetor. Yeah, here it is. Unfortunately, the carburetor's dead. It's been broken in half here, and it's seized. You know, like the choke mechanism's broken off it, etc. The bottom part, the main part, could be saved, I think. Depends how badly it's corroded inside. But yeah, the motor was seized, and in the process of well, I took the cylinder head off. I was trying to remove the recoil starter piece here, but been unsuccessful. I moved it a little bit, pounding on a wood block, but it's pretty well stuck there. But anyway, in that process, the piston started to move. So it's funny. You see, it's got one big fin missing off the flywheel there. That doesn't help. You have to break a couple off the other side to try to balance it. But the piston does move. It's a lot tighter now that I've removed the crankcase cover. Like it doesn't want to move very well. Initially, both valves were seized, but the exhaust valve started working. The intake is probably because it's got more clearance. The intake valve still isn't cooperating. But I just cracked open the crankcase here to have a look, and yeah, it's got like an incredible amount of rust in it there. I already cleaned out the bottom of this, but and unfortunately, it's got a ding there in the side, in the camshaft area. So I'll pull this out. No, it won't come out now. 1 second. Oh, yeah, she does not want to move now. That's strange. Anyway, I'll stop the video, but I just wanted to, the main thing I want to show is the amount of rust in the bottom there. I mean, that's got to be off the metal components, but surprisingly the motor actually turns over. So I put the crankcase cover back on there, and sure enough, the piston starts going down again, and it opens the exhaust valve up. Then as soon as it tries to open the intake valve up, she seizes up. So it's seems to be the result of the seizure there. Yeah, and speaking of the intake, I got the intake manifold here. There's part of the broken carburetor, but it's seen a lot of water in it there. Yes, judging by the amount of corrosion in the intake manifold, this definitely saw water for a long time. But the amazing thing is that the cylinder, there was a little bit of white corrosion on the one side, and that was it. The piston was up probably about there, so maybe, you know, half an inch down or something. But so none of the valves are open, so that probably saved the cylinder. But the intake definitely got water in it, so that's why the valve's stuck. But anyway, I'll see if I can save the crankshaft. I still got to get this nut off of here somehow, hopefully without breaking it. But yeah, you never know what you're getting at the scrapyard these days. So this thing was almost like a block of ice when I got it there. The cover picture for the video shows what it was like when I picked it up there. It was pretty well encased in ice. There was no starter cover or coil on it, but other than that, it's pretty well complete. So finally got the recoil nut loosened up there. It took combined efforts of a 14-inch pipe wrench on it, hitting the pipe wrench with a mini sledgehammer, and to stop the crankshaft turning, I used my patented technique of putting, well, in this case, let's see, I'll get it up there. I got to stack up a 1/2-inch washers and a lawnmower, circular lawnmower blade mount there. Anything, just stack it up so that the piston can't turn. You'll be going this way, so you'll have the piston down, and then on the way back up, you can use a wood block, whatever fits in there, and then as you twist this, then it'll try to push the piston into the cylinder head, and it can't because you're stacked up material there. So it worked anyways, but it took 8 or 10 hits to get that thing off of there. So I'll put it back on because I need the leverage there of the flywheel to turn the motor over at this point. I don't know if I showed you already. It does indeed turn over until the intake valve tries to open. Anyway, there we go. So now I'll take the crankcase cover back off and clean a lot of the rust out of it there. Something unusual I discovered when undoing the connecting rod bolts. This bolt here wasn't torqued. The lock tab was still on it, but it didn't require any torque to undo it. So that might have been part of the engine's issue, hard to say. Well, there, finally got the crank piston rod and camshaft out. The camshaft there, you can see it's got some rust on it. Perfectly usable though. That could be salvaged easily. Even the crankshaft can be used. Now it does have, looking like something off the Titanic, but I don't think it's scored too badly or anything. Rod, like I say, this bolt was loose on it. I'd have to clean it out to look. The piston pin's a little bit tight. It's stiff, like it'll stand right up there. You can see it doesn't want to fall over. But you look at the amount of rust in it too. So, and then the rings are, oh, that's kind of strange. They're not sticking out, so they're stuck in the grooves. But see the gap in that top ring? Boy, that's a big gap. Second ring's not as large. So maybe this engine's wore pretty good. Of course, the furnace has to come on there. Yeah, a bunch of penetrating oil. I see corrosion on the rod. A bunch of penetrating oil on that things, and some wire brushing and that. And a person could get this motor running. Of course, you want to put a different carburetor on it for sure, considering part of that one's broken. Oh, I was able to save the intake manifold off the 6-horse there. I got its crankshaft over here. Well, with these helical gear on it there, or whatever it is, from that 6-horse. Got bits and pieces of it around here. There's a piston in a bag there. But anyway, yeah, so this old 3-horse Briggs here, certainly can get some good pieces off it. I think a person could JB weld up that hole in the side of the block there. I haven't looked at the bore particularly, but from what I've seen, it isn't all that bad. You can't tell with all that rust and crud on it, but I don't see any deep pitting. I've seen that before. Remember, like the subterranean and different ones. But in this case, there's no deep pits. It's kind of surprising. The water was obviously in the bottom of it. Maybe it was even sitting, well, I don't know, I can't say. Maybe it was sitting like this. I don't know. But anyway, enough of that. Gas tank's usable, but it's got a hole in the bottom. Even the cap wasn't seized on. So, yeah, lots of parts. You don't find as many Briggses this time of year at the scrapyard. I've gotten, I think this is my 5th one this year. And some of them I really didn't need, like 80s lawnmower engines, but this is the first horizontal of the year, I think. So and I had to kind of unbury it from the snow, and we're catching more snow. Seems like February is our snow month now. We've had about 4 or 5 storms. Got another one. We could get easy a foot of snow out of this one if the forecaster's right. So anyway, everybody take care and have a good one. So it turns out the intake valve wasn't seized, amazingly. It was the valve tappet. So, you know, it's seen better days, but, you know, for a Franken Briggs run, exhaust one's got some issues too there. But, so the intake valve is, you know, usable. Same thing with the exhaust valve. So I got energetic enough, I could probably get this thing running with a different carb on it. So we'll see. I'll keep it in mind. Its number is 25E. Means it's the 5th engine I've gotten this year. A little cooling fin damage there, but I don't think there's much more than that. Looks to me like somebody maybe have converted it to a magnetron ignition in its past life at some point in time, but I'll clean the rest of the rust out of the cylinder there, and so this would have to be JB welded up as it goes right through into the crankcase there. But other than that, you know, clean the rust off the crank and cam and get the rings. Man, that's got large ring gaps. It's crazy. Get the rings unstuck and the piston pin and all that. We'll see. I don't know. I'm still working on that 2-stroke crazy. So, but anyway, just wanted to show you what a old scrapyard Briggs from the ice pile can be like when you actually examine it.